Hello, and welcome to What Kind of Year It's Been, the panel where we discuss just how much it sucked for same-sex attracted female characters across all pop culture. Or maybe it didn't suck. Who knows? There's a first for everything. We are your hosts. I'm Alice Clarke, freelance journalist, PAX Together, Diversity Lounge, Australia, co-curator, and this is Jess.
Hi, I'm Jess. I work as one of the directors of an organisation called Queerly Represent Me that works to represent people from different minorities in the games industry. And I also am a freelance journalist. Also, I wrote this book.
She did. It's
about
good.
Cultivating inclusion and making the games industry more diverse, basically. So that's me.
So, Jess.
Hi.
What kind of year has it been?
Look, it's certainly been a year. Look, it's been a year.
Yeah, this year has gone for probably a couple of decades.
I think so.
We're filming this and I'm still in stage 4 lockdown in Melbourne. So this is my first time putting on actual clothes in quite a while. It's that kind of year. But pop culture wise, it's actually been some pretty huge leaps and bounds.
It's been pretty big. It's been a pretty big year. You know, good, bad. There's been a bit of both, but I think definitely big.
Yes. So let's start with games.
Yes. Games.
So The Outer Worlds. I forgot this game released this year. I thought it was probably 3 or 4 years old.
Yeah. Well, it released last year. It
true.
released, I want to say, like a couple of weeks maybe after PAX last year, PAX Australia last year. But because that's usually where we run this panel, I feel like it's good to capture some of the stuff that happened at the end of last year.
Yeah, we can sweep it into 2020.
Yeah. And also, I don't want The Outer Worlds to go unnoticed because I think it was very, very cool. I think there was an inclusion of this character. So you, I think, haven't played it.
I don't think I have, but I also can't remember half the things I did before March.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. I mean, an overview for everybody anyway. So this is Parvati. She is one of the first companions that you get in the Outer Worlds, and she's basically lived her whole life on this planet in like this small town kind of vibe. And then she meets you, and she goes out to explore the big wide world. And she's an engineer. She kind of has like mad like Kaylee from Firefly vibes. That's basically what she's got going on.
Okay, cool. Very good vibes.
Yeah. Anyway, she's the best. And when you go to do her companion quest, it's basically she meets this lady, this other engineer, on a ship, and she's kind of in awe of her. And at first, it's like this, how good is she at her job? But they start talking, and they develop kind of a romance. But halfway along the thing, Parvati starts kind of freaking out because she reveals to you that she is asexual, and she's not quite sure how this other lady is going to react to that. And so it's about you kind of helping her to just embrace that and be confident in who she is and pursue this other woman anyway. It's probably of note as well that in a game that usually lets you be kind of a jerk to a lot of people if you want to, because you have different options for how you respond to people, it doesn't really let you be a jerk to Parvati for telling you that she's asexual.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Important.
You can kind of only really be supportive of her when she tells you that.
Which is the correct option anyway.
Yeah, which is the correct option anyway, for sure.
Yes.
And hopefully is the option that most people would choose, but I think it says something that, the option to react negatively to it just kind of isn't there. And she just exists as this character who's supported, and yeah.
It's so rare, not just to see queer women in media, that's becoming a bit more common, but ace anyone, anywhere, in anything?
Yeah.
That's so cool. That's what the A at the end of the LGBTQA plus stands for.
Yeah.
And yet we never see any of it. So that's really nice to hear.
Yeah.
I may have to play that now.
Yes. And she's one of the favorite companions of everybody that tends to play it. So she's a super likable character too.
Awesome.
Yeah. All right.
Now, for the big one. Look, there were not a lot of queer women in major games this year, as with all years. And so to have 3 is massive. Especially with a game as big as The Last of Us Part 2.
Yeah. Sorry, I was like, who's
But
the
was
third?
there-
But I realised you're talking about two in the same franchise.
Yeah, there's two.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose 4 in the Outer Worlds, but like,
Oh, yeah, but, like-
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
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 Was The Last of Us Part 2 good representation?
I wanted to have an answer for you by the time we recorded this panel. I'm
Yeah.
still thinking about it. I still don't know. Because was it nuanced representation? Like, yes.
Yeah.
Was it prominent representation? Like, also yes.
Her sexuality was not her defining feature. She and Dina loved each other.
Mm-hmm.
And that was really nice.
That was really nice.
I don't know if that's a spoiler. I suppose they were
did.
kissing in the trailer, so not a spoiler.
Yeah, I feel like if it's in the trailer, it's kind of okay.
But there's going to be like light spoilers for a couple of minutes. So if you haven't played the game and you don't want to know things, like maybe just tune out for like 2 minutes and then come back.
Mm-hmm.
So there's the 3 major tropes that same-sex attracted female characters fall into.
Mm-hmm.
Dead, evil, pregnant. You'll know this if you've ever watched Nerd Quiz in the lounge. They get 2 out of 3.
And
it was not... Well, I really, really expected Dead to be one of those.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that I kind of knew going into it that they would.
Yeah, no, last year after I played a preview in LA, I came away from it 100% sure that Dina was going to die.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, there was not a doubt in my mind. That
Yeah.
was going to be Ellie's thing to go and avenge. And like on the one hand, I was like, but I don't want it to always be the female love interest who dies to spur the white protagonist on to vengeance and stuff. But on the other hand, yay for being for lesbian. But then also, I kind of wish Ellie had died.
I think Ellie kind of wished Ellie had died by the end. I don't know that Ellie's will to live is like really there.
Yeah.
She needs like a lot
her
of
will
therapy,
to
like,
murder a lot of people very brutally
Yeah.
while saying some pretty brutal stuff was definitely there.
Like,
That was just straight up evil for a lot of it. I didn't want her to do a lot of the things I had to do while I was her.
no. I think that was the big problem with it, is that Ellie was, the game forced me to make her far more evil than I wanted her to be, and I just don't
I'm
think
not
it
good
needed
enough
it.
at stealth to not make her evil.
Yeah. And you could only rely on stealth sometimes to not make her evil. Like, I did the best I
there were
could,
some quick
but
time
it didn't need
events
to
where
brutally murder some people. Like, it was just upsetting because she was, you know, Ellie, and like you grew to love her, and she was I don't know. This is where I'm so torn, because I want there to be the scope to have the kind of queer characters that Ellie is, where she's you know, very grey and then just straight up kind of evil. I want there to be that, but I don't know how I feel about the first big AAA, like, huge title where you have no choice but to play as this lesbian character to be that.
Yes. The history of dead and evil lesbians goes back to the 1800s, back in English literature law, how you could only, like, have perverts and deviants as long as they did not get a happy ending.
Yeah.
And that was law that was in the Hays Code in Hollywood, and that really defined queer characters in media for 100, 200, long time.
Yeah.
And I don't think we're at the stage yet where we have enough characters with happy endings of any kind in any media.
Yeah.
That you can start off with, she's so morally grey, she loves to stab. Look at how much joy she takes from stabbing.
God, she loves the murder.
Listen to them. Oh, God. She loves to hear the sound of somebody choke on their own blood as the light leaves their eyes.
Mm-hmm. Right to the jugular, just every time.
Glee.
Oh.
Yeah. And I just, like, if there had been maybe 5 or 6 games before Ellie where the protagonist, at the very least, meant well and didn't want to kill, but had to and was forced,
yeah,
then this would be fantastic. No complaints at all. But you have to lay that groundwork.
Yeah. And I think there were moments when they could have even done it within this.
Yeah.
Like, just give Ellie more pause before she aggressively stabs somebody in the throat. Like,
or just didn't like have her stab someone and go, motherfucker. Like just say, stab someone and say, I'm really sorry. I didn't want to do that. Just some level of remorse.
Yeah.
That shows that killing isn't the thing that makes her life happy.
Yeah.
I don't want to spoil too much about the ending. But maybe if she just found an abandoned bookstore that had some psychology books and then maybe got a friend to read them so she could have a therapist.
Yeah.
I just think it would have ended better. Like,
yeah, I just want just therapy. That's what I want for Ellie. But I want therapy for Ellie like halfway through the story. Because I think that if she'd gotten that, then maybe she would have made some different choices.
Look, if at the start she'd had a little bit of quality grief counseling and then maybe didn't let what's his face, the guy who thought his family was more important than hers, who was such a prick, Tommy. Fucking Tommy. Maybe if she had a grief counselor to say, like, talk her through it, had her feelings, and then like barred Tommy from ever talking to her again, I think it would have been fine.
Yeah.
But it's not called The Many of Us Who Have Healthy Conversations About Our Feelings, Part 2. It's
That's
The
true.
Most of Us. Like,
yeah, that's true.
But I just wanted there to be some hope.
Yeah. I think
and
there's
I wanted
not like
them
it's
to
not
be
like there's
happy.
no hope. It's not like all hope ever is gone. I want there to actually kind of be, because I want Dina to respect herself more than that. But like,
yeah.
Because I really
It's
like
just-
Dina, right? Like,
Love Dina.
yeah,
Dina deserves better.
yeah, Dina deserves better. She's a joy.
And I wanted Ellie to be better for Dina. And I loved that Dina was this tiny bisexual Jewish woman who just loved deeply, but also did not care.
Yeah. But also respected herself enough.
Yeah.
To not put up with that.
Like, I would have liked to have played this game as Dina.
Yeah, right? Dina's a great character.
Like, I think that would have been... She's fantastic.
I don't think she would have killed a bunch of people and then called them, oh, you son of a bitch, as she stabbed them. I think that maybe she might have made different choices.
She would have gone, you know what? Let's agree to disagree. Let's talk out our problems.
Yeah.
I don't want to kill you. I'm hoping you don't want to kill me.
Yeah.
I'm happy to maim you if it means you won't, like, come after me.
Yeah.
Like, this game needed more maiming.
Yeah, right? That would have been better.
Significantly more maiming.
So much more maiming.
Maybe some light head trauma. We all know that fictional head trauma only leads to somebody being conveniently unconscious for 15 minutes and not actual brain damage.
Yeah,
That could have been nice.
Convenient.
Yeah. Well, what if instead of bullets, she just kept finding, like, tranquilizer darts everywhere?
Yeah. She's like, oh, there's Dina. Dina's been through.
Yeah.
with a trank gun.
There are ways.
It's not like Dina did no murders. Like, Dina did some murders.
Dina did quite a few murders, but she took no joy in her murders. She killed out of self-defense.
Yeah. I feel that. Which is that's just what I wanted from Ellie. Like,
yeah. But the fact that we have an entire AAA major game with a lesbian protagonist is incredible.
It is.
And I'm never going to get over how huge that is.
No, like, I want to cry a little bit just thinking about the fact that it exists.
I cried. There was a scene early on that was a sweet romantic scene between the two of them, and I legit did tear up. My wife and I were in this room. I was playing, she was watching, and then we just looked at each other. We both had tears in our eyes. Like, that is the power that this game has.
Yeah.
And then, but it also meant that the first half of the game took me about 3 weeks to get through.
Yeah.
Because I identified with Ellie so much. Not with the murder parts. I feel like I need to clarify that. I would not murder. But I identified that and I wanted her to be making better choices, and everything that happened was just so heartbreaking, which is incredible. I've never been this emotionally invested in a game.
Yeah.
But also at the same time, I'd like to have been emotionally invested and then felt joy at some point. Or at the very least, not just so beaten down and empty, which is still an incredible feat on the part of the developers.
Yeah, it is. But like, I just want to sigh and then stare into the middle distance for like several days, and then I don't know, have a cry, have like maybe write a 6-page essay about those feelings, and then just repeat the process over and over again for the rest of time. And that's kind of how I feel about The Last of Us. Like, I have feelings about the use of the pregnancy trope.
A lot of feelings about that.
A lot of feelings about
but
that.
Also, as not a entirely negative feelings.
Woman, like, what if we didn't? You know?
Yeah.
But
I can see why, as a plot device, it was useful to make there be a baby, and it also meant that Dina wasn't there being a tempering influence.
Yeah. Like, I get it. But I also am mad at it. But I get it. Like, it's really...
Yeah. I'm mad at it, but I get it. Yeah. Is the tagline for The Last of Us Part 2.
Yeah, honestly.
And that was the games that came out this year.
Yeah.
What a long list. Well, I think we do have to give a special mention, even though it doesn't have any queer women in it at all, I think.
You're going to talk about Tell Me Why?
I am going to talk about Tell Me Why.
Untrue. It does not have no queer women.
Oh, really? This brings me great joy. Yeah,
it's like not a big thing, but it's there.
I will take that. Because that game is so groundbreaking.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, wow.
Yeah. So
it was such a good example of what can happen if a dev team really deeply cares about their characters and getting them right.
Yes. 100%.
Like, oh my god.
It makes, again, maybe I'm just emotional because 2020, but it makes me it makes me want to cry. Like, I want to cry happy tears thinking about the fact that this game exists and that the developers have put so much time and so much care into getting every bit of it right. And it's not perfect, but I because, you know, nothing is. But, like, it's groundbreaking, genuinely.
I legit cried when I first saw the trailer. And
yeah, me too.
The last 10 minutes, you would think that I'm a crier. I don't cry. I generally try not to have emotions. They're very inconvenient for me. But the trailer, just seeing it, it felt important.
And, like, Life is Strange made me feel like that too. Same developers. It feels like the natural progression from Life is Strange. But, like, because same deal. I cried watching the trailer for Life is Strange. Just because there were words in it that said it was kind of like Gone Home, and I took that to mean it might be gay. I am a crier.
The kids who don't know about that's what it used to be like. You just hear like maybe like a couple of faint chords that sounded vaguely like Tegan and Sarah, and then you just knew that maybe there'd be 5 seconds of somebody who loved like you in that thing.
And this was 2015 or like 2014. I think the trailer came out. Like, it wasn't even that long ago.
That's a different lifetime. We could go outside then.
That's true.
So TV.
Yes.
There was a lot, like TV made huge leaps and bounds this year. There was so many queer women on TV that I could choose not to watch the ones that were too violent or naked for my tastes.
Yeah. And I've included some in these slides that I think neither of us have really watched, but that I think are worth talking about because they are groundbreaking. And it might be the first year where I haven't just been able to do that, to just consume all queer lady media.
Yeah, it used to be really easy to consume all queer lady media, and then you had to work out what you wanted to do with the rest of the hour.
Yeah.
But, like...
yeah, honestly.
On the slide, we got Winona Earp and One Day at a Time, the almost cancelled.
Yes. Well, they were. They were almost cancelled.
Yep. Both of these showed that lesbians and queer women in general just will cling onto a show and will refuse to let it die.
Yeah. Yes.
And... yeah, and that Winona Earp this season is creepy as hell and also really leaning into that fan service, which I as a fan, am enjoying.
It's been moved to
Thank
a
you for
later
your
time
service.
slot, and I would say that shows.
Yes. Oh, it does. It does a lot. I would say that the first episode of season 4 is how I wish The Last of Us Part 2 had gone.
Yeah, it's true. Women working together, fighting zombies, you know.
Yep.
Good stuff.
Yeah. Winona Earp is always great. I think it's possibly the first time in history that a fan campaign actually was able to make a difference to help save a show.
Yeah.
Normally fan campaigns are just fun hashtags, but this one, because of the interesting way it was cancelled and the interesting contract stuff that was there, I think fans could actually make a difference, and that was really exciting to see.
Yeah, for sure. And they are definitely repaying fans.
Oh, yes. So much. It's great. And one day at a time, I haven't actually been able to watch the new season because I don't think it's available to watch legally in Australia yet. And of course, I would never do anything illegal. But I've heard good things.
Apparently, there's quite a bit of Elena using they/them pronouns quite easily to refer to her partner.
Their significant other?
Their significant other, yes. So that's good to see that's happening, that they're acknowledging that and they're exploring that. Winona Earp, though, like I feel like we could do hours and hours talking about Winona Earp.
Oh god, years talking about Winona Earp.
Waverly Earp is genuinely one of my favorite characters on TV, and I love her for a lot of the same reasons that I loved Willow when Willow was in Buffy, and I just love her, and I obviously love Nicole because she's just extremely gay, and it's just together they're just very cute. It's just very cute. I don't know.
Such an adorable couple. Like I'm sure every single queer couple is saying this, but they kind of remind me of me and my wife, and this makes me happy.
Yeah.
And also, Waverly is the human embodiment of sunshine, and that's pretty good.
Yeah.
I like that there are so many characters, queer characters on TV who are the human embodiment of sunshine, because you're going to hear that from me a lot during this panel. Yeah, so next slide is Netflix and teen dramas and beyond.
And beyond, yes.
Yeah, Netflix has been doing such a great job with queer rep the last few years.
Yes. Yeah, a couple of different shows that came out this year. So one that I really liked was Dead to Me, stars Christina Applegate and Linda Cardellini. And last season there was nothing queer about it at all. And yeah, this season Linda Cardellini's character just kind of starts a romance with a woman. And it kind of, I guess, comes out of nowhere in the sense that they haven't really talked about it before, but it becomes relevant. And as soon as it becomes relevant, no one's kind of weirded out by it. Everyone's like, oh, this is a thing that hadn't come up before. That's cool. I'm glad this is happening for you. And she's like, cool, I also am glad this is happening for me. And yeah, like her, because the show is about the relationship between her and Christina Applegate's character, and they're friends, and it's messy and complicated. It's the whole thing. There's murder. But it was kind of nice to see, her explore this thing, and she's supported by her friend, and her new love interest has also an ex-girlfriend that's kind of in the picture, and it's all a bit messy. I want gay things for Linda Cardellini always, and I feel like it just keeps happening weirdly in stuff that she's in.
I want gay things, queer things for all people at all times.
Yeah. There were also some teen dramas that Netflix made. I don't know if you've seen them, but I Am Not Okay With This, and also Atypical, this season of Atypical. So I Am Not Okay With This is about a character who's learning she's got this weird ability, and it's kind of vibes a bit like Life is Strange, I guess, in that she kind of realizes that there's something weird, but people around her don't also have superpowers or anything. It's just kind of her deal. And she's, gently in love with her best friend. And, it's cute. It's just cute. There. It's like, teen crush. Like, she has feelings for her, and she's nervous about what that might mean. And, her friend is unsure if she reciprocates them, and then just, like, exploring that's a bit cute.
That'd be good.
Atypical is a bit more explicit. The sister of the main character is kind of, I don't know. I mean, it came out a while ago. It's not really spoilers to talk about it anymore. But yeah, she started kind of hinting that there might be a relationship with one of her friends, last season, and then this season they kind of go into that, what that might mean for her, and her future, and I guess it's a pretty good example in that it's no, I don't know what I was going to say there. I don't know, but it's like they're fully formed characters away from each other, and they interact in a way that's like, I don't know how I'm going to fit you into my life, but it's not necessarily because you're a woman. It's just because I'm navigating the fact that I have feelings for anybody, and how that works with my life and my plans for the future. And it's kind of this like very late high school romance, I guess.
Very cute. That sounds really good. I'm going to have to watch that.
Yeah.
The other thing on the slide that I've been watching is Raven's Home.
Yes.
Which does not have any out queer characters in it. However, it is about two women who live together and share a bedroom and raise their 3 children together. Which,
not
I don't
Gaelic.
know about you. No. They just, every now and then they'll mention that they have an interest in men and like their ex-husbands will show up sometimes. But it's possibly one of the gayest shows I've ever seen. And it's a Disney show, and so that's really nice. They like they refer to each other as like Levi is their brother, and like nice. It's a good show.
That's just good.
Very cute. Yeah, there's not really not much to say about it, but it's cute.
Well, I mean, I don't know if I would say Riverdale is cute. It's also on this slide. They're happening. Last season they were in a cult. Now they're not in the cult anymore. So
I cannot believe you're still watching that show.
I can. It's the part of me that still clings on to every bit of queer representation. It's like, even though there's so much out there that I could be watching that would probably be better, I'm now attached to these particular queer characters, and I just can't.
They're your emotional support queers.
Yeah, like, they are, and they're not good people. They're not good people at all. But look, they're together. They love each other. They're very pretty to look at. I don't know what to
Sometimes that's all it takes. Yeah. And then the next slide.
Yes. Oh, the other person on that slide is Pepper from Katie Keene, which is also a spin-off to Riverdale, who is a bisexual character.
I saw that.
Yes.
It was
just to clarify why she's there.
So then in the next slide, we've got Station 19 with the crossover romance with Grey's Anatomy's Dr. Orgasm.
Mm-hmm. Please explain. No, don't explain why. I can put the pieces together. I can work it out.
No, like she's a doctor. She's a gynecologist whose research specialty is orgasms. Like it's not. Okay. It's not a euphemism. That's just what she has. She's Italian.
Okay.
She's very attractive. She briefly dated Arizona before they just cut Jessica Capshaw contract. Mm-hmm. And now she's with the gold medal Olympian from Station 19.
That's pretty good.
It's just, look, the gold medalist, whose name I can't remember, doesn't treat her very well, but they're both very pretty.
Mm-hmm. Look, we've just realised I'm okay with that, so...
Yeah. It does go into the promiscuous bisexual. The gold medalist does cheat on Dr. Orgasm with her male ex-boyfriend during a self-destructive stage where she was fighting against the idea that maybe her really abusive dad might have been abusive.
Right. Okay.
So she was dealing with some stuff. They found some plot cover for the biphobia, but I don't think it quite covered all of them.
No.
Sorry, one sec. Sorry, I keep coughing.
That's okay.
There's also Beauty and the Baker, which is the most...
Baker and the Beauty? The Baker...
Baker and the Beauty and the Baker...
There's a beauty. There's a man who bakes bread.
It's the trashiest trash that has ever trashed. Like, it is just such good trash. Imagine if some of the trashiest fan fiction came to life and then was really trashy. It's like Twilight RPF, but not the 50 Shades of Grey style. It's just terrible, and I love all of it.
Yeah.
Like, it's amazing. And in it, the sister works out she's gay, and she has to work out the problems of coming from a family that isn't necessarily entirely okay with that, and the family has to kind of work out how to be okay with that, and she has to work out how to date. That's really cool. It's nice.
That's cute. I've seen, a little bit. It's very wholesome.
It's so wholesome. It's like, it's almost lifestyle. It's like Lifetime quality.
Amazing.
Almost. Yeah, and then what else we got here?
So we also have the TV show version of High Fidelity, which now features it was a film with Joan Cusack. I'm sure people are familiar. But yeah, which now features a bisexual main character. So yeah, there's also a main lead character. In a show called Tommy. So she's a lesbian.
Yeah.
She's like high up in the police force. I cannot remember her specific title.
She's the chief of police in Los Angeles.
Yeah, there you go, chief of police. Yeah.
And like, she's great for all of it and really, really good, except when she's trying to be in a relationship, which has the least chemistry I have ever seen between two people in any situation.
Amazing. That bar is quite low.
It is very. Did they not do chemistry reads?
Guess not.
Were the directors just bad? It was bad. Like, it was a vaguely interesting show. Not like it acknowledged that most of the LA police force was trash, but then tried to convince people that parts of it were not trash. Which, not really the year for that, or really any time.
Truly
until you start actually making it not trash. But yeah, it was interesting, and I'm glad it's over and hasn't been picked up for a second season.
Okay. All right.
And Killing Eve was a thing.
Killing Eve was a thing. Killing Eve continues to be a thing. Killing Eve makes me feel good in my soul. It has like this really feminine kind of vibe that just makes me feel good in the writing and in just the way that everything is framed. And it's weird because I get that it's a show about murder and one of them's an assassin. So I understand how that's kind of a weird thing to say.
It's very feminine murder.
Yeah, well, no, but like sometimes it's just a different energy. Like you just feel. I don't know how to explain the feeling that I feel within myself when I can just tell that it's created by a woman and like it. She feels what I feel in some ways. You know, I don't know.
Serial killer?
Yeah, no.
Inside?
Yeah, I'm Ellie now. I actually love stabbing people.
Oh, good. This panel's come full circle.
Yeah, just bring that right back around.
So why is it okay for Killing Eve to be all about murder, but we're a bit uncomfortable about The Last of Us being all about murder? That seems like something to talk about.
Because Villanelle is like a career assassin, right? Like that's her job. Like that's who she is from the beginning, is that she's like, I'm this morally terrible person and I will murder, not for kicks, but also not for kicks, I guess. And like, she's not good. She's kind of stalking Eve. Like she kills like a bunch of people, but also nowhere near the number of people that Ellie kills.
That's true. But is it also because this is just one show we've been able to talk about, and we've still got more shows that we're going to talk about. We're going to get to superheroes. And so that's not the only representation. There's like other options.
Yeah, I think that too. Yeah, that's probably a big part of it. Yeah, it's a good point. The other person on that slide is from Hightown. Also, she was not a cop, but a law enforcement. She works in law enforcement. Is what she tells everybody. Okay. She's not a cop. She's like a fish cop. Is really what they kind of call her. I can't remember her exact title. She goes out on boats and like monitors fishermen.
Why not?
Yes, but she is played also by a queer woman, Monica Raymond. And her queerness is also very, very much a part of her character. She's also not the best person. She's got some stuff to work on. But yeah, it's there. It exists.
Cool.
Yeah.
And then next up, L-Word, Generation Q, the bold type, and Feel Good.
Yes. Yeah.
The L-Word, not as bad this time around.
Less bad. Less bad.
Yeah. Less transphobic, less biphobic.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah.
On some levels. And a couple of the couples had some chemistry.
Some of them did, yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Not the main one, of course, but some of them.
But some. It was less white. It was less cis. It just wasn't particularly bi. Like, the bi representation is just not really there. They're less actively against it, except for a comment that I think Shane and Bet make in the first episode where they... Yeah, I can't remember it because I chose to block it because it was just unpleasant to listen to.
Wise.
But it was like, yeah, quietly biphobic, and then after that they kind of don't really talk about it. But it was less bad. I was less overall offended by the L-Word in this reboot.
Yeah. Alice was... I don't understand the relationship he was in, and she certainly doesn't either.
Yeah.
And, like, I think they were trying to give poly representation, but the writers didn't understand how to do that.
Yeah, it did kind of feel that way.
I think L1 Generation Q can be summed up with, and they tried harder this time.
They did.
And hopefully 2 is better.
Yeah, I feel that.
I did discover a new underwear brand through it, like Tomboy X. That was something.
That's a win.
Brought me joy.
Yeah.
Speaking of biphobia, the bold type.
Yeah, that's why I've collected these 3 shows together, because of just their gentle and also not so gentle instances of biphobia this year. So Kat from the bold type has been a bi character for several seasons now, and yet somehow this season had a revelation that she thinks she's bisexual. But I think everybody, like, I thought she knew that. I thought everybody kind of knew that.
Yeah. She wasn't like, I like sleeping with women, and turns out I never liked sleeping with men. She was just like, I enjoyed men. Now I like women.
Yeah.
But maybe she's just really dumb.
Yeah. Look, I don't know.
A lot of this season was not good.
No.
I feel like there was some definite writers' room changes. So I feel like there was a lot of writers' room changes because it had a different feel to it to previous seasons.
It did.
And it didn't feel like they knew the characters as well.
No. I feel like after she realized she was bisexual, she kind of had a small plot line with her ex-girlfriend, Adina, who I think we've supposed to have liked for several seasons now. Like, Adina's kind of okay. But then she just came in this season with Kat, I don't think you should come to my party with all my lesbian friends because you're bisexual, and I don't know how they're going to respond to that. I don't think they're going to respond positively to that.
Yeah.
And then
they tried to do... Yeah, like, Adina was supposed to be this amazing character for good queer Muslim rep. And then this season they're like, yes, but what if we destroyed that?
Yeah. Exactly.
Which, nah.
No.
And then Feel Good, I haven't seen.
Yeah, so it's about comedian Mae Martin. She wrote this semi-autobiographical kind of story about her and her life. And I am sure that there are people that thought that it was good representation that aren't me. I am sure that there are a lot of people that can relate to her character because she's kind of a really, like, butch presenting lesbian woman, and she's really comfortable with that.
And it is really nice to see butch women every now and then. Yeah. Like, they don't all wear dresses.
Yeah.
I barely understand lipstick.
Yeah, right? And like, for a while I was like, this is good. This is fine. Like, I'm glad she exists. But she has this girlfriend who, her name is George, and she's George's first girlfriend, first interest in women. I guess. And Georgia's still kind of figuring herself out, and that's fine. But in all of her like stand-up shows that she does within the show and her interactions with some people, she's like, I have a straight girlfriend. My girlfriend is straight. Because she used to...
That's not how that works.
No, because she used to just have sex with men. And because this is her first, like, lesbian queer relationship. And she's just kind of an asshole about it. And that just didn't sit great with me.
Yeah. No, that would not sit great.
Yeah.
Like, does she have a teachable moment where she learns the errors of her ways, or is that just...
It's supposed to be, I think, at least partly a symptom of some other stuff that's going on, because she's like a train wreck of a person, and she's kind of going through some problems with substance abuse and her connection with her family and stuff. So they kind of play it off a bit as like, oh, she's dealing with stuff, so she's, coming a bit unstuck in some areas of her life. They don't really specifically address the fact that that's a really shitty thing to say about a person who is clearly not straight.
Well, maybe next season.
Maybe next season.
But okay, now we get to my favorite slide, which I'm the most excited about.
Yeah.
Superheroes.
Yeah.
Look, I wore this outfit specially because Lena Luthor wears this suit a lot. And I have had this suit in my wardrobe for 8 years since my engagement party. Because, you know what? No straight woman owns this suit. No straight woman looks at their best friend the way Lena looks at Kara. And no straight woman has the getting back together romantic arc that Kara and Lena had this season.
Yeah.
And yet. Are they together? No. But are they? Yes.
Every single person in my house that does not watch this show saw me watching Supergirl this season and made comments about how gay it was. Without context, just like, oh, are those two together? Like, no. But I see why you're asking.
Yeah, like, I'm not sure if, like, I'm even as gay as Lena Luthor is.
I'm not, for sure.
Like, I'm pretty gay. But I think Lena might be gayer. And I'm looking forward to the time when Lena works that out for herself.
Yeah. Like, they have more chemistry as a couple than the actual lesbian couple in that show.
Yeah, Kelly and Alex. I really want them to work because Alex and Maggie were such an incredible, adorable couple. And they also went through months of casting process to get the right actor for Alex.
Yeah.
And I don't think they did that with Kelly. Like, I like Kelly as a character, but just... Does Alex?
Yeah, I guess. I'm told she does. The show wants me to think she does.
Yeah. Like, there's just no chemistry at all. And I really want there to be.
I think it's partly because when Kelly was introduced, she was introduced at, like, the same time as a different character that Alex also had chemistry with, that a relationship with her would have, I guess, solved the problem with the relationship she had with Maggie. And so I really thought that's what they were going to go for. And
they also had amazing chemistry.
Yeah.
And Kelly was more introduced to be Alex's therapist.
Yeah.
Well, everyone's therapist, because my gosh, everyone on Supergirl needs a therapist. And that's what she was there for.
Yeah. But then it just wasn't what I expected.
Did contract negotiations with the woman who played Rain fall through?
I don't know.
Like... Because that was where they were setting that up.
Yeah.
And then, hopefully this next season, maybe the actors have a time to bond behind the scenes. And so then they can, like, work a bit more on camera.
I hope so.
Do you know who has great chemistry?
Is it Avalanche?
And Ava from The Legends of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh.
I don't understand what I've done to
show.
Convince my Google that when I search, like, Avalanche, it means actually avalanche. Like, do you not understand that that's not a typo I'm not making at this point? Like,
my Google has stopped trying to avalanche.
They're so good. They're so good.
Yeah.
I love them so much.
That show is the most wholesome show. It has been the show that has been the balm my soul has needed this
Yeah.
year.
Mhm.
Everyone means well. The masculinity is occasional. Like, the most toxically masculine character in that show is also a romance novelist who really loves his teenage daughter.
Yeah. Oh, Mick.
Like,
Bless him.
look, I don't know if I love Mick, but he's
No, but-
definitely also there.
Yeah.
He could have been worse. But, like,
It could have been.
it's just the nicest show, and the co-captains for life.
They're co-captains for life. Oh,
Yeah,
it's
they're
just
together.
so cute.
They clearly love each other, and
They
no
do.
one's like, ooh. They're just
Yeah.
like, yeah, we will fuck you up.
Yeah.
I just want
It's
No,
happened
no, no.
already a couple of times, so
probably. And then also Runaways.
yes.
Gosh, I am so glad they fixed the comics. 'Cause I love the comics, but as I read it, I was like, ooh, does Brian K. Vaughan like women? Has he met one?
Mm.
And clearly the writers of the show also love the comics and fixed the stuff that I didn't like about them.
Yeah.
And I think Runaways has been one of the best teen shows of the last few years.
Carolina Dean, also actual sunshine.
Yes. Oh, and Cara Danvers is a literal sunshine golden retriever.
That's true.
Like, love her.
Yeah.
Back to DC for a moment.
Mm.
Oh, sorry. Yeah,
No,
Runaways. No, back to DC for a moment. Batwoman.
Batwoman.
What? Okay.
Batwoman.
I love Batwoman. I was reading 52 Weeks back in 2007 when she was first introduced. I loved her and Renee Montoya's relationship so much that I even got a question mark tattoo for Ray Montoya for the question. And was really invested and so excited to see the Batwoman TV show. Like, finally, my favorite superhero of all time was getting a show. And then they cast Ruby Rose.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, not the best sign, but let's have faith. Let's see where this goes. It did not go well. It did not go well at all.
Look, I will say this. It is rare that a protagonist's love interests hook up with each other. And that's a thing that this show allowed for. So
And that was fantastic. I was totally there for that. That was great.
Yeah.
But I think the only reason why that happened was because Kate Kane had chemistry with no one.
Yeah, with no one.
Yeah. Like, a strong director can only do so much.
Next
and
season,
I'm really glad that they've got a black woman to play the new Batwoman. I just wish that she was playing Kate Kane rather than a new character, because I have a feeling that because the first season of Kate Kane flamed out so badly, we're probably never going to see Kate Kane on screen again, and Batwoman is going to become this new character.
Yeah.
And so I'm simultaneously so excited to see what they do with this new character and how they manage to pick up the broken pieces of season 1 and turn it into a show.
Yeah.
But I also can't help but mourn that we're not going to see Kate Kane on screen for a long time, because I think they could have done so much with this lesbian Jewish superhero, and I wanted to see what they were going to do.
Yeah.
But hopefully season 2 will be better, and then we can pretend season 1 never happened.
It will definitely be different either way, so...
Different is definitely going to be a part of it.
Yeah.
Hopefully good different.
Yeah.
And how can it get worse, really?
True.
Can it get worse? Let's not tempt fate.
Yeah, let's not.
New season of Lucifer?
Yeah, new season of Lucifer. So last season, I haven't watched the newest one yet, but last season, so Maze was always kind of bisexual.
Super bisexual.
Well, yes, kind of bisexual, no, like super, yeah.
Very extremely bisexual.
Yeah. But she, like, her connections with other people got explored a little bit more this season as well. Like, the season just been. I think you've seen some of the newest season.
I've seen all of the newest season.
Is she continuing to be bisexual?
So extra bisexual.
Okay.
And at one point, she comes on to a straight character who she's clearly had a crush on for a long time. And the straight character is just like, oh, no, sorry, we're just friends. But there's no, like, gay panic of, oh, no, how dare you think I could be interested in you because you're a lady person.
Yeah.
But it's for a little bit, you're a soulless demon. I don't think, and I have interest in other people who are men, and I don't want this to be a thing that we do.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, I'm
intrigued to see who. Yeah.
It's exactly who you think it is.
Yeah, I'm excited that maybe it is. I don't know. Look, if it's the person I think it is, I also love her, so I get it. But yeah. Also, this season of the Umbrella Academy, I feel like season 1, like they finally realized that there was no way that Vanya was not interested in women.
Yeah, Ellen Page is a good actor.
Yes.
But you put Ellen Page in plaid and then expect me to believe that she's interested in men, and I can't make that mental leap. Yeah.
I don't want to say too much about her relationship because it's still kind of new as a show, I guess, as season 2. So not to go too much into spoilers, but certainly she is now pursuing a relationship with a woman.
Oh, good.
Yeah. And also Black Lightning, which continues to be understated but very good.
And people keep sleeping on Black Lightning. It's really good. It's an incredibly groundbreaking show. And the lesbians are literally immortal.
Yeah.
You cannot kill them.
Ideal.
And it's nice. Yeah. So what do you want? And amazing show for representation. Really interesting stories. Really cool powers. On Netflix. It's easy to watch in Australia.
Yep.
And presumably other countries, wherever you're watching from.
Do it.
That's good. And then animation.
Oh, how good is animation?
Oh, the animation got so queer this year.
So queer.
I became obsessed with She-Ra. I don't normally get into animation at all because it's just not my jam. But in this household, we watched all of She-Ra in 4 days.
Yep.
And it's just the gayest show.
Yeah.
And I love that for it.
Yeah. I love that for it too. It's just amazing. It's just so... It makes me, in the same way that... Not in the same way that Killing Eve did. Less murder in this. But it makes me feel good in my soul. In the same way that Steven Universe does.
Okay, yeah.
Like, in the same way that... Like, it's a vibe. I can't express the vibe, but it's there.
Very the castle of you.
Yeah. Yeah, it is very... That's how it feels. Like, everything about She-Ra is just nice. There's so many amazing women, and they're all different, and the relationship between
and the theme song,
Adora and Catra is just... It's just good.
I'm amazed and pleased that the powers that be let it be as gay as it was.
Yeah.
And just so good. But also, that theme song, if you were ever having a day where you need any kind of motivation, put on the theme song.
So Our House is just cute. It's about...
Disney.
It is Disney. And it's about this, Latina girl who wants to be a witch, and she meets this woman that takes her to this other realm, and she starts studying to be a witch. But one of the friends that she meets... At first, they're not friends. At first, the other girl's kind of not great to her. She's kind of a bully, but they become friends, and then it becomes very obvious that this other girl has a massive crush on her. But also they're like 14, so it's like this very cute adolescent, like, oh, I like you so much, I have such a crush on you, but I don't want to be weird about it because I don't know how you're gonna feel. Like, it's very cute. Yeah, it's really sweet. And then Harley Quinn. So yeah. Big year for Harley Quinn. I feel like we'll talk about Birds of Prey in a second, but yeah, her DC Harley Quinn animated show is just super queer. So it kind of has the same vibe as Birds of Prey, and it's about Harley Quinn realizing who she is without the Joker and kind of leaving him behind, and just becoming like this really empowered woman who is learning to love herself, and also realizing that her best friend, who supports her more than anybody else in the world, is somebody that she's in love with, got feelings with, got feelings for, and her friend is kind of realizing the same. And her friend obviously is Poison Ivy, so you can see in that picture. And together they're just kind of great. They just like kick a bunch of ass and fight for women and murder a lot of people. Again, there's like decapitation. Look, so Steven Universe, always queer, always nice. Obviously there's a bunch of queer characters. The gems kind of present female but don't really have a gender. And Ruby and Sapphire literally fuse together to make Garnet, so are together all the time because they're more comfortable together than being apart, which is the sweetest
We've all been
thing.
in that relationship.
Yeah, so that's cute. That will always be cute, and it made me cry because it was a very emotional series. But yes, a very, very good show.
Oh. Okay, so overall, are things good?
Good. Things are certainly happening. I just wish that, and I know you also wish that, games would kind of catch up to the rest of media.
Yeah, games feel like they're 20 years behind everything else at the moment, and that's really annoying because I'd like games to be a leader in all spaces because the stories you can tell in games and the interactivity and the connection. Yeah. Gosh, I wish I could feel that.
Yeah, I feel that. Yeah, exactly. And I wish that we could have a place where we can have games like The Last of Us, and we're not talking about whether or not it's good or bad representation and what that even means, because
there's options for all flavors.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I want to be able to play a game with a queer character that go, this is great, but it's not for me, and then play one that is for me.
Yeah,
just
exactly.
one time.
Yeah,
but preferably more than one time.
We just want games to be as good as I think we know they can be, as everyone knows they can be, as other medias have shown it's possible to be, and it just.
Yeah, I have a lot of feelings, and I wish I understood them.
Yeah, I feel that too. I wish games would make me feel simpler sometimes. Like sometimes it could just be nice.
I wonder what those straight white dudes feel when they're playing yet another Call of Duty.
I bet they feel great.
They probably feel like they could take over the world.
Yeah, I bet they do. But that's how they feel.
I just want that. Yeah. I want an Uncharted.
Yeah. Yep.
Like that's what I want.
Yeah, that would be great. Like Tomb Raider almost.
Fun, stupid action adventure.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah,
just no.
Yeah. The dream.
What they have. Yeah. But so, do you have any questions, audience? Obviously, this is pre-recorded, so like we can't really answer with voice faces. No. But we're going to be in the chat for a while. So jump in. What have you seen this year? What's the stuff that we've missed? What are your thoughts on The Last of Us?
Yes.
What kind of year has it been for you?
There's a lot we've missed.
We missed a lot.
We did.
So much that we missed. Mm-hmm. Like, my gosh. If we could make this panel 4 hours, I think we might almost fit it all in.
Yeah.
Because we didn't even get to music.
No.
There's a new Paris album out.
Yeah.
That's very exciting. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah.
It's been great to be able to continue this PAX tradition, even if we're all at home in our pajamas right now.
Yeah. So good. I love doing this every year and talking about this stuff, so I'm so glad that we got to do it.
Hopefully we'll all be back in the lounge again next year and we can do this all together.
Yes.
But until then, stay safe.
Yes.
Hug a loved one if you're legally allowed to.
Yeah.
And we'll see you soon.
Yeah.
Or in the chat now.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.